Intel Electronics presents the Intellivision Gamer.
What is going on, guys? The Intellivision Gamer here, and welcome to episode 63. I'm really excited about this one. We have some special guests. We're going to have Caleb and Russ on to talk about their new product, the Intelliport. And I love this new product. From when I was first told about it, I'm like, oh yes, this is going to be a good one. So we're going to talk all about it. We're going to show it off. And we're also going to have the rest of the regular show. We're going to have a little bit of mail call items, a little bit of news, contest results. Hopefully I didn't see them right before we went on. And we're going to have a Homebrew Highlight again. I had to omit it last time because there just wasn't time when I got back so late. But it's going to be Which Way from 511 Under. Before we get started, guys, if you could help me out, give the show a like. And if you're new here, consider subbing as I post Intellivision content every week. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, AtariAge, and my other channel, The Retro Gamer. All those links are already in the description, along with my email if you need to get a hold of me and don't have another way. Let's go ahead and welcome everyone in chat. Benville was first. Eric and TJ had a fight for the 2 spot. And I'm pretty sure TJ on his end, he was second. This happens to me all the time in the Intellivision Dude, his live streams. I'll be like, it says I'm second. Not on my side. Eric was second. TJ had sloppy thirds. They're going back and forth a little bit. Then we have Michael Doherty. He's going to take a rain check tonight. He's working on the honeydew list. Benville is back. He was number 1. Brad E. Buckeye, welcome. Phil from Retro Bliss Gaming. If you don't already sub to him, make sure you do. He is one of my most watched at any given week. In any given week. Dave, my bowling buddy, what's going on, sir? I'm sad bowling is over. I look forward to that every week, and I went a few weeks when I was on vacation and I couldn't bowl, even though I tried. I actually had all of the equipment with me. It was just either timing when we came in or the Wi-Fi really is bad when everyone in the KOA is on it. Weird, I see the first post from Benville and then me. Yep, that's how it works. It happens to me a lot. I try to be first, and sometimes, you know, I'm second, third, or whatever, and it's weird. It should show it all the same, but it doesn't. Eric says I won't be able to stay too long either. Whatever I miss, I'll catch up tomorrow, though, but I will be on for a bit. Yeah, we have a cool product here tonight. Oh, I see Caleb and Russ are down there. They snuck in. Get you guys on here in a quick second. Pierre! Hello, Casey, Caleb, E, Buckeye, Phil, TJ, Dave, Benville, Michael, D, and Eric. Everyone's saying hello. I have not voted yet. I'm purposely waiting a little bit longer, but I will talk about the 2024 Homebrew Awards a little bit. Also, I am on that committee. Brian, what's going on? Intelligent vision to make us smarter. Michael Hayes, I know he wants to see all about the Intelliport, and he has some very good questions coming as well. Stephen Baker, what's going on? Old school collector right here. Good to see you. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone scrolling through. Rick, what's going on, Rick? Salvatore. And looky here, we have 8-Bit Widgets. All right, let's go ahead and welcome on our guests. First up, we have Caleb. Welcome, sir.
Hey.
And we have Russ. What's going on, Russ?
Hey.
Very cool.
All right, I got to get through a few little things here, and then we'll get started on the Intelliport, which is the whole reason for the show. And man, I'm excited for this product. And if you guys haven't seen it, this is it right here. Does anyone else have one besides us yet?
No, you're the first. Other than Russ and myself, and I'm sure Frank even has. He has one, does he? Or is that
not
one
this time?
Yeah, not at this
Not
time.
yet.
He had a prior version, I think, but yeah.
Kurt Bradshaw. All right, so quick little bit of news here, and then we'll get started. I'll do the mail call and the Homebrew Highlight and everything after we talk about the Intelliport, so I don't keep you guys around waiting for that. But news, we got the 2024 Homebrew Awards. There is a link in the description if you don't already know where to find it. It's a great way to support all these publishers, programmers, the guys that do the box overlays. Get in there and vote. If you haven't played all the games, vote for what you know and like. Definitely go vote. Participation, we love to see it. I'm on that committee. I started last year. I always vote. It's a great way to see what's out there and give a little bit of recognition to everyone. So definitely do that. More. Everyone's hit. I'm not sure, Rick, what I was supposed to talk about. I don't know if you saw my message last minute here. Let me see if this is played. All right, so we got some rare homebrew games for sale. Let me find that. I forgot which one of these does this. It's been a while. There we go. Pop up. And of course, it's on the wrong one. All right, so you see him in chat, Stephen Baker. He is an old school collector, around from near the beginning. He is selling off some really rare homebrews and World Series Major League Baseball. So we've got Miss Pac-Man, we've got World Series Major League Baseball, we've got Maria from Cote Gamers, we've got Norseman, Moonsweeper, Sydney Hunter, Super NFL Football, Yogi's Frustration, pretty old one there. The same as this one, Rocky and Bullwinkle. Is it Spina the Bee? That's another old school homebrew. Number Jumble. Fairly more modern Spider-Man. Christmas Carol, which is hard to get. Illusions, one of the early ones as well. Donkey Kong, Space Patrol. Pretty sure this is the original version, not the re-release from last year. Same Game and Robots, one of the early ones as well. And Fortress. So I do have a link. Man, I think I put that in there. A link to eBay store. If you guys can't find it, send me a message and I'll point you in the right direction. But if you search for any of these games, you're going to find them. It's Stebsy. Let me click one here. Yeah, Stebsy on eBay. All right, what else we got? Let's go ahead and talk about OpCode games really quick. So the overlays are in, the games are ready to ship. Some of you guys may already be getting them. I haven't seen anyone. Look in your email for the shipping confirmation, and you got to pay the shipping. That's how they do it. You pay for the games. Then whenever they're ready to ship, you pay for shipping, and they're on the way. So if you haven't already done so, be checking your email. These games are a lot of fun. And also, if you haven't got them yet, you can still purchase them, and that link is in the description. It'll bring you up to this page right here. You can see all three of them are there. So we should be getting, you guys should all be getting your games this month if you pay your shipping. And then if you order now, estimated delivery is sometime in July. So he's going to get out all the pre-orders first, and then we're going to move. There's going to move on to new orders. Let's see if Intellivision Invasion got it in here. Sometimes he's a little busy and doesn't get it on in time. For me, anyway. He's never late. And we have it 23 minutes ago, probably right after I looked. All right, so Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack. The results: Rick Weidman won with a Jack High Straight Flush. Mike Tiata. I don't think I've seen that name in there yet. Aces over Kings, Full House. I'm not really sure how they did this one. Kurt Kietsky, who I met at the Midwest Gaming Classic. He got Jacks over Tens, Full House. Michael Doherty played Fives over Kings, Full House. Kevin Schultz, Ace High Flush. Cristiano Colombo, King High Flush. DJ Forster, Three of a Kind, Queens. And they are playing, I think they're playing Pac-Man right here until Sunday. So if you can get a game in, go ahead and do it. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. I don't think I did. All right, let's head on over. We're going to talk about the Intelliport. I lost my screen here. All right, so this has been in the works for a while. And as soon as you guys told me about it, I'm like, wow, this is going to be a good one. It's something that, one, we need. Two, we want. And, you know, it's going to open, and three, it's going to open up a lot of possibilities for homebrew games and different kinds of games that we can play. And again, if you haven't seen it, oh, I just lost that screen. Let me show you right here. There are USB ports here for power. Some aftermarket controllers require USB for power, and that is what that is for. On the top, you have 4.2. So if these are going to be player 3, 4, or 1 and 2 again, and then you have FB and IN, which are flashback controllers or Intellivision controllers. So all those flashback controllers, you can flip this switch, and you can, because they're wired a little bit different, and you can use those as well. Very cool product. It's got feet on the bottom. It sits in perfectly in your console. It also functions as a, what is it? The MCP?
Right.
And you've got a little flapper for dust. So let's go ahead and hear from you guys. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how this started, and the process, you know, that's went behind the scenes of making this very cool product.
Yeah, I mean, so it was basically a conversation. You know, I mean, I've been following the Intellivision for a couple of years now, as far as the homebrew scene, and looking at what's available and things that might be helpful. And I think at one point when I had learned, my brain kind of got, you know, my head exploded a little bit when I learned this whole idea that the Intellivoice had this expansion port on top of the thing. I had no clue all these years I've had these things, no idea that was under the hood. And when I learned about that, I was like, that's so cool. But it's a shame they never made the wireless controllers that they were intending to make. So, but obviously this rose the question then, well, if they put that there, it must have meant Mattel must have known that it was possible to send controller signals through the cartridge port to drive any game, not just games that are, you know, after the Intellivoice, you know, or something. So or requiring other hardware. So it's like, okay, well, if that's possible, you know, has anyone ever done this before? And the answer was basically no one had really tried it yet, which was kind of surprising, frankly. I mean, you know, but I was kind of like, well, I have no clue how to even begin to do this stuff. And guys like Deckel, who obviously could figure out such a thing if they had their own time, but they're busy doing their own projects and they're, you know, doing their thing. And I think, and Russ and I have been working together for a while on some of the more modest products like the MCPs, which were kind of a great way for him and I to kind of collaborate with figuring out how we're going to balance our skill sets, which were obviously Russ has the electrical engineering background to understand circuitry, making boards and all that stuff and understanding those things. And I had the experience with the 3D printing. So we started with the MCPs and then evolved into, you know, thinking like, well, what if we try to do something a little bit more ambitious, you know, because I know Russ had wanted to try doing his hand at FPGA programming and finding a way to apply that concept and that, you know, towards a product, you know, that would be, you know, useful and help, you know, and something people would actually like. And so when I got the idea that it was possible to do that, you know, Russ and I put our heads together, and you know, Russ had reached out to Deckel, who shared insight. You know, FDR for Prez, you know, he obviously had his experience. So Frank had insight, and you know, just generally the people of the community, you know, other people had offered some insight as well. So, you know, kind of went to just kind of hit the books, and Russ, to his incredible brilliance, you have to understand this guy has never really been under the hood of an Intellivision until months ago, right? So the fact that he did not have a steeped knowledge in Intellivision chipsets, hardware, history, and I kind of helped a little bit with that, kind of, you know, help kind of educate him on some of the higher level concepts and how things work. But, you know, he really had to figure out what's what and then make this thing work. So my hat's off to Russ for really being able to engineer that part of it. So it's kind of an idea, you know, I had an idea and a concept, but Russ had the insight and the knowledge of how to really apply that stuff. And so we just worked and then came up with this. So, and this is what we have today.
Very, very cool product, because let's talk a little bit about why someone needs this, because there's many reasons, and different people might have a different reason. First
Right.
and foremost, you can plug it in, and if you don't have like a Intellivision 2 or a Sears console and you want to use aftermarket controllers, you now can. You buy this device, plug it in, and you can plug in all your controllers. You can even power them with the USB ports here. That's a big one, because a lot of people don't have a way to use, aftermarket controllers. And then we also have a lot of those flashback controllers.
I do the same thing, FB.
And I just saw FB, and I do that so much. It's Facebook, but it's like a lot of us have those, and you can pick them up fairly cheap. They are rising up now for those systems, but a lot of us have a lot of those controllers. So they're wired a little bit different. And I thought that was a really cool touch that you guys added, where you could just flip a switch and go back and forth. And, obviously the next thing is going to be, 4-player games, which we only have a few right now, but this is going to open up the possibility. It's kind of like you build it, they will come. Once I think I see a lot of people saying, hey, I want one. The more of these that get out into people's hands, the more possibilities for 4-player games. And, I just think it's a really cool product. I think the controller is the number one thing for me. But, there's so many reasons to have one. So is there anything you can talk about, Russ, about, from idea phase to what we see today?
Yeah. It was kind of a bit of a learning experience. Decal was really helpful as far as just like an introduction to some of the concepts, but then just kind of, I'm pretty open-minded, so I try to play off of everyone's unique knowledge of things, and I kind of thought it was a little bit of an odd idea when I first heard about it from Caleb, but I was, Caleb knows what the needs are out there and everything like that. And just started kind of diving in, trying to figure out a most efficient, the best approach to doing this. And a lot of prior work has been using microcontrollers, but actually underneath the hood on this, it's using called a CPLD. It's basically a very simplistic FPGA, and it just has enough capability and maybe just a little bit left over to do what we're doing. So it's, in my opinion, is a really good fit for the application. And we're using every single IO on it for something. And kind of towards the end, we're just going to make it so they could do the 2 controllers, and kind of been talking with Caleb between us. I don't really even know where the idea is formulated. Hey, we could maybe just make this also do flashback controllers. And then, let's put a player 3 and 4 switch. It might have been both of those you turned,
No, I think it might have been. I think Frank might have maybe initially started us on that path, because I don't own an ECS, so I've honestly never thought much ever about 3 or 4 player. And
yeah, there was definitely some conversations there with Frank too. Really spent a lot of time kind of thinking through it. And for me, probably one of the funnest parts about this is getting the board in and putting it together and hooking it up. And it kind of basically worked the first time that I plugged it in and put a controller on there, which I was kind of like, nothing ever just works the first time. I haven't even looked at any signals on a scope or anything. So that part was great. Now we have been kind of troubleshooting some other things that have came up, but initially it did pretty much just work immediately. So it's been pretty fun. I don't really have too much else to add to that at this time, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys did a fabulous job. Like I said, when you have a product that's actually needed by most people, I mean, another side effect is if you have there's a lot of people with consoles, the controllers are worn out. they don't know how to replace them. This can also, you can plug this in, plug in controllers, and use your console again without buying a new one with that 2-4 switch. There's just so many possibilities, and it's just such a cool device. It's been a long time since we've got like a new device that does things, you know, that you're excited about, and this is definitely one. So why don't we go over? Yeah, I'm trying to think. One thing I forgot to say too. There is a power light on the side. I haven't done a ton of testing yet, but pretty much everything I've thrown at it has worked flawlessly. And the first time I tried flashback controllers in mine, I have not tried arcade sticks, but I know they work. But I had a pile of flashback controllers up there, and I tried that. This is number 15.
Yep.
So how you have a list going. If people aren't on that list and they want to get on the list to purchase one of these, what's the best way for them to do so?
I mean, basically Facebook is great. Or you can email me, 8bitwidgets@gmail.com is fine. Or AtariAge, I'm on AtariAge, so feel free to send a PM over that. My Facebook is fine, but I am sort of set to like private only because I don't really like the whole open to the world stuff. So some people may try to PM me and it might not go through. But, I think if you're friends of a friend, like you're friends of Casey, I think maybe those messages get through. But if you're a cold contact, don't be discouraged. It's just try me, like I said, 8bitwidgets at gmail.com. Or on AtariAge, I'm at 8bitwidgets as well. So you can reach me through either one of those, and you just send me a message. If I don't reply back that I've got you on the list, I may have missed your message. I mean, I post on a few different threads on Facebook. I've tried to be diligent about quickly seeing a person's name and a request and adding it. But if you didn't hear back saying I got you on the list, I may have missed you. Please, just be aware of that, and I'll be happy to. So yeah, we're working on. I mean, we're already working on the next batch. The first, like the sort of test batch we had, are pretty much spoken for at this point. We're looking to probably some of the early people. We're going to look to get about 5 people after UK. So we'll let you going to bang on this a little bit longer to learn what we can from your experiences, and then we're looking to probably find maybe 5 users who have LTOs, ECSs. Basically, the first 5 folks were, first of all, if you're willing, of course, and interested still, we would like to get 5 people to basically be the first buyers who will get the units that have the right equipment for us to kind of go through the paces to make sure you have a good experience. Because we're still, we're very comfortable with the product's performance and behavior, but we've only had a few limited sets. We have 1 LTO at this point that we were lucky enough that Gene 1980 Gamer loaned us for Russ to play with and stuff. So, but that's all we've had to work with is basically 1 ECS, a couple of Intellivisions, an Intellivision 2, and a Sears. I don't think you even had a 2609 yet, Russ. I actually just picked up one from a local game store for $30, an unmodded 2609. Oh, nice. So that's, so I've got that, and I want to fire that. That one still has the RF. So I'll try that out and make sure that, I mean, it's untested, but the guy said bring it back if it doesn't work. So it's not like he was trying to sell something shabby or whatever. But so very cool stuff. So we're very excited to get some people to kind of test it, make sure things work well, especially those like Casey who have maybe a decent homebrew collection, because we have 0 homebrew games except the
decent.
ROMs. What?
Decent.
Like all of them. But yes. But as for me, I don't own any actual cartridge homebrew games. I've got ROMs, and I've played it with my I use the Backbit IO is what I've tested with, and Russ has had an RTO and an LTO to test with. We've had issues with the RTO, but it's not our product. To be fair, the RTOs seem to be kind of moody with basically older hardware. If your systems have been modified, they can be a little bit temperamental. And basically what I'm saying is that the RTO we were testing on, even on the system itself, was flaky. So it wasn't like it got weird once it went through the the Intelliport.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened, but as I've used it over time, it seems to have become less moody.
Really?
Maybe I've just broken in? I guess so. I mean, maybe I'm just gentler on it. I have no idea, but it works. It works just fine. Occasionally, it will come up goofy, but most of the time, it comes up okay. And once it comes up okay, it's fine. and this goes for with or without our Intelliport in the mix. For whatever reason, and I know that he sent us a second one, but the second one that he sent us also had this issue that if you go into the menu and you don't just pause for like a second before you hit the game, it will have issues loading. But other than that, it's actually doing okay now.
Well,
there
I'm
were
glad
some
to hear
initial
that.
hiccups that I was getting kind of annoyed by, but it just started to be working better. I don't know. The cap's broken on it. I have no idea.
So we're getting a few questions about the PyRTO, and that's one thing I can tell you. Sitting right here by me is the PyRTO, and I was using mine, yesterday and there's this weekend and today. It works great. I mean, have I played every single game with it? No, but it loads up fine, goes through. I played a few different games, and it works great. I know you guys have tested various consoles and different. We've got the Backbit. I know you're a big Backbit fan. I tested that as well. I even tried, for those of you that are old school, I tried the Cuddle Cart 3, which is one of the very early versions of, a multi-cart, and that works fine as well. Like I said, I tried the flashback controllers. I just got back from vacation last Sunday, and it's been a crazy week. But I'm going to be putting this thing through its paces. I'm going to be trying a lot of the modern homebrews from several publishers. I'm going to be trying. I have a lot of controllers, including some prototype stuff. We're going to be plugging in those, to the USB, and we're going to be trying a lot of different things. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything that I've been asked to do. So I pretty much have all hardware minus the keyboard component. I have all the homebrew games. I have pretty much every aftermarket controller, including some, prototype stuff. So we're going to really put it through its paces and make sure everything's good. But, my initial impression, my first thought was just, wow, this thing's awesome. And after getting it and using it a little bit, it's great. A lot of Intellivision hardware, there's so many different versions. And I know, like with the PyRTO 2, if you have a Super Pro, a lot of weird stuff happens. And, so you can't ever have everything perfect for every version of hardware. I recently learned about the Super Pro that it has issues with lots of things. And I thought it was my items. But I have one modded Super Pro, and when I was playing different games, they just wouldn't load, or it would, do weird stuff. And, James Boner, he told me, yeah, with that Super Pro, some weird stuff can happen. So I'll be trying that console as well. The other thing that we need to try.
Just to be clear, I've been testing with the PyRTO 2 as well, that exact same cartridge that you have, and despite that initial kind of weirdness, it's been working really well the last couple months. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that was initial stuff. After that, I stopped checking on them. But okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
We're gonna try, for those of you that have seen, we have the new digital controllers, and I'm gonna try that as well. I have one, and pretty soon a lot of people here are gonna have them in the States, but I look forward to trying that, just the controller itself, and then also through the Intelliport. I'm trying to think of what else. Let's take a few. I know that I've seen a few people typing stuff. Oh wow, I have a few of those as well, Michael. The Intelliport was the very first one, and it loaded one game at a time through your PC, and it has. I can grab one that's right here. I thought it was going to be quick. Apparently, I lied. So this,
Intelliport.
It's a regular cart, and it has, it's a serial port. This one's still wrapped up. It's one of the extra ones. This one is number 124. So a regular cart went in, serial port into your PC, and it had software, and you would load one ROM at a time and then turn it off and I believe back on and load another one. But then I went to the Cuddle Cart stuff, and now we have the modern items. But this one, I mean, I really like this one because of the fact that it's $40, comes loaded with the 125. I mean, so many people have this one now. It's got a little reset button on the side, and you just load games. You go out a little USB-C port, you plug it into your PC, you load them on. Of course, it needs, I forgot, it's bin and config. It can't do ROMs. And there are some homebrews that won't work, but most everything I've thrown at it does. So, I mean, it's a really good thing. I think these are going to be in more hands than almost anything else, just due to the cheap price of it.
Right, exactly. It was always like I remember when the first I got into the scene just when the last batch of LTOs were being sold by William, and I think it was mostly the focus on Canada at the time. But I'm like $130 for a multi-card. I mean, I've been paying like $30, maybe $40 for the ones for like Nintendo and these other ones. I was like, that's so expensive. There's no way I'd pay that much. And then of course it becomes this rare thing because I was like the last batch to come out for like the last 3 years, and now they're like these ridiculous prices. So
they go for $400 to $600 and more, which is crazy. I hope to eventually get them, but it's like, because I had 7 of them and I let them go for regular price to people that needed them because I was told they're coming again. I'm like, okay, I'll sell mine.
Right.
And now it's been years.
But the back bit is honestly at this point, I mean, it's about the same price, around $130 and such. But what is nice is it has JLP support, it has added RAM, it does the page, what do they call it? Banking, right? This bank switching. So it basically does everything that the LTO and JLP games, based games can do that are necessary. So at this point, where the Pytra, it doesn't have the Pyra RTO. Does not have JLP support. They've not implemented that, though it's possible. And we're pretty busy with this and some upcoming stuff. But at some point, I'm hoping I can get Russ to maybe consider looking into that, maybe revising the PyRTO to support JLP, because that's really a much needed feature. All the great homebrew games use it, and to have that an affordable product yet be capable, and it's got enough the power under the hood with the Raspberry Pi processor could handle it. So there should be no reason why it can't from a technical standpoint. It's just a matter of, I guess the guy who originally created it didn't really feel that. I think it's more of a philosophical difference of, didn't want to necessarily support that because he didn't see that as being pure.
What is
television?
That's a great thing about Caleb. There's no shortage of ideas of things to do. So.
But I know I got that.
My thing with the back bit was I didn't like inserting just that board, but with your product, and I've got the Running Man on mine. I love.
Let me see the back
bit of that regular part now.
I think that's like the first generation one too. Let me see the other side. Flip it over. You have, see, that was the first version, was where it kind of clipped around it, but eventually I gave it more time.
You have a new one.
There's a newer version that basically it's just more snug and just a little bit better design. But but I gave you the Running Man, the basketball or the baseball running guy for you. Did that one special.
Let me see if I didn't miss any questions. A lot of people are talking about 4-player games. Foobar for 4 players. So Michael says if it looks out, have you guys tried Foobar?
No, but we did try a not to be mentioned game by Oscar that confirms that I was able to test 4-player controlling without an ECS. So in other words, homebrew games can be written and will not require the ECS to check. Some games do, though. There are some games that will not work
for it.
We'll actually look for the ECS. If they don't see it, they freak out, basically. So not every current 4-player game exists, but some can work with it as is. But any future developers of homebrew games can make it just with our product alone. They don't have to have an ECS.
Yeah, so a lot of them looked for the ECS because that's the only way you could have 4 players. No one ever did it with the IntelliVoice, so it was a normal thing. Michael says he can make a version of Foobar that does not look for the ECS, and I told him we definitely need that because I owe him still a video of my family of 4 playing Foobar, and that will definitely, that would be cool if I could also do it using my Intelliport.
Yeah.
Let me make sure
these they're kind of a hard to come by piece of equipment these days. They're around, but sometimes they're pricey, and other times they're just not around at all. So I almost got one, and I'm kind of following up with the person on. There's someone local here in Lowell who's in Massachusetts who is selling a ECS and a televoice, and I'm like, oh my God, I need one, because I've been on. We had to borrow the ECS we have. 2600 connection. Tim loaned us his ECS, and then Gene loaned us the LTO. So that's how we got our hardware. But I'd like to have my own ECS for testing purposes. But I'm not paying $300 or some. I've seen some really dumb prices, and I'm just sorry. It's like,
especially if it's boxed. But you just need a loose one.
I don't need the box. Yeah, exactly. It works is all I ask. I don't need boxes.
You can get. I mean, you knew him, but I could have sent you one of mine. I have several, but
yeah. All good.
The only thing that I can't send is my LTO, because I'm down to one, and that's how I play all these things, and it's too risky to ship it. But I can literally test anything you guys want to test and do videos privately and send it. So I didn't feel too bad.
No, man, you've done so much. Go ahead, Russ.
Just one other tidbit on the USB ports. The USB ports are supplying 5 volts from the Intellivision, and so we've kind of limited it so it can't power it will not charge your phone or supply hundreds of milliamps, but it will go up to I think 60 or 80 milliamps, which is enough for the controllers to use. I just didn't want to. I was just concerned. I want to be safe. I don't want to overload the Intellivision's 5 volt coming out. But the other potential benefit, is that when third-party controllers use that, if you're having trouble with interference, plugging into like a wall wart type of a thing, this uses the actual 5 volts from the Intellivision, and so everything's kind of on the same even keel. And I would anticipate that if you're getting some interference, that this might get rid of that interference by using this 5 volts versus from the wall power. And plus, it's convenient, of course.
Right, it's cleaner. But yeah, there's a safety fuse in there, so you all could be it's safe to try. But for example, I think that Brazilian controller with the touchscreen. I'm thinking it may require too much juice for our port to provide, because it is a touch screen and backlit. I mean, there's a little more amperage going on. It's not that it's heavy, but for the port and the restrictions we've put on it, we might power one, but we won't know until you give it a try, because you have one in hand, right? Like around.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay. I'd like to at least test
that should trip the fuse, and it's a resettable fuse, so you're not going to burn anything out in the device. You'll just have to wait for it to reset.
That was going to be my question. If I blow the fuse, what do I do?
Right.
I was waiting for a break there.
No, I knew as soon as Caleb said that, that's what I would have thought too. So
yes, thank you for that. Right, exactly. So yeah.
All right. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to catch up on chat right here. Put them in there, and we'll ask these guys. Rev is asking, is the Pi RTO any good? For $40, Rev, I mean, I think it is an amazing little product, and I can tell you they are selling like crazy just due to the price, and they play most everything. I've played modern homebrews. Most of the original 125 works as well, and I haven't tried. I know some didn't, but it might just be the ROMs that were installed. So I think it's a great option, and it's easy to load. The only downside that I see is it doesn't do ROM. So if you have just a ROM, but you should be able to split those.
Right. There's a tool with the whole JZ and TV thing, I think, right?
Yeah. I had a hard time using that once, but if you buy a ROM package these days, you get bin and config and you get a ROM. So it won't be any issue. Like if you're buying games from David Harley and Television Collector, you should get both. DJC says, I can't wait to play 4-player FUBAR. Yes, of course. And stuff that you don't even know exists yet.
Right.
Hopefully this brings up a whole new, like Warlords. That would be fun.
Yep. We're always trying to get that. Personally, it's always been my personal mission with all of the stuff we try to make, is that it's cool to serve purposes like utility and such, but it's like expanding possibilities. It's like the Intellivision couplers. I still, who's going to make Robotron? Because now we have the coupler, 2 discs. And I've the latest generation of the couplers. Actually, I sent Pete a new set of the couplers, all 3 for the Intellivision 2, the Sears, and then I guess the flashback, right? 2609, the Intellivision 2, and then I guess the last would have been the flashback. But basically,
Yeah, because they all vary just
Well,
a smidge.
right, they do, and it does matter. But the main thing is he had one of the earliest ones I was making back when I had my old Ender 3 printers. I was like, oh my god, they were rough. I mean, they functioned, they were fine, but I've made some improvements because one of the problems I did notice is that if you try to do dual discs, pressing on the support behind it, I didn't put as much attention to actually pressing the discs because my original approach was holding one disc with your hand and the other one's on the number pad. So, so I made some improvements over time and stuff as well. So, yeah, I saw that before.
Let's check chat. I've let it go for a while. Usually I'm pretty good at keeping up, but whenever
I've not been
like this, it's hard to.
If I watch the YouTube channel thing, then I'm in like major delay. Like I can't. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave the chat and let us talk from here.
I think I talked about this earlier. Michael says, I still use my Intelliport. Works great with my bump and jump level editor. I still haven't tried that, Michael. I really want to. It all comes down to free time, and man, it's hard to come by for me lately. Kurt says, I have both black and white PyRTO carts. They play awesome. I love the Running Man game. Casey's new title, the Intellivision Tester. I am a prime person to do this because I have all versions of pretty much everything. So
that's right. Yeah.
And I love to help.
We're very fortunate. I can't overstate that.
DJC says, I wonder if now homebrew programmers can program 4-player versions of sports games and or new 4-player games. This opens up possibilities.
Yeah,
once
absolutely.
A lot of people get this in hand, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah. And be patient. Where we are definitely working hard. We're still hand making these. This is not like something we're shipping off to somewhere else to make for us. So it does take time, and we're figuring out a good path forward to produce more of them. And Russ and I are both basically I do the enclosures. He does a lot of the surface mount technology, which is a super important process that has but I'm also doing I'm trying to assist him as well through some of the other soldering efforts, like the through hole stuff. That's a little bit easier and something I can help out with.
Yeah. And I just want to get this out there that the way we've been testing is to put the Intelliport in first. That isn't to say that it won't work most of the time, if not all of the time, with it not in first, but we're not testing it like that. Otherwise, you get into the situation where there's just too many different possibilities. Right. And you just kind of feel overloaded, and you start getting to this factorial and whatever math stuff, and just too many options there. And testing does take a lot of time. It always seems like it should go faster than it does. So hats off to Casey for helping us out here on that. I see a question about Intellivision, Atari System Changer, Intelliport, Atari 2600. I'm not really familiar with the Atari System Changer. Does that change?
That's the one that Frank has. Frank has that. I mean, you have it too, Casey, I believe, right? Basically, it's you can put like 4 games into it, and you can switch. No, it turns it into the 2600. Sorry, the System Changer.
System Changer basically gives you an Atari.
Yeah.
Would that mean that the Intelliport's plugging into an Atari 2600 cartridge port?
It's basically kind of like the Coleco had a similar module, but basically it's got a 2600 port, and you can plug a 2600 game into it, and it effectively converts the Intellivision into a 2600.
Okay, so I think just the way that question's worded, if you did Intellivision first, then Intelliport, then the Atari System Changer,
right,
then the 2600 controller, that might work.
We haven't tested with a System Changer yet.
We haven't tested it though.
Yeah, we haven't even tested it, so we don't know for sure that it will work.
Right.
But it should work. We've had good luck with the ECS. We've had good luck with the IntelliVoice. And again, and as Russ was saying, we officially are saying if you're going to test it and you're going to use it, we ask you use the Intelliport first. However, I have used the IntelliVoice first and plugged in our product into that, and it still worked. So we're not saying it won't work. We're just trying to limit the amount of.
It's really a question about the signal integrity. We're passing all of the signals through, and we're trying our darndest to not disrupt anything. But a lot of these systems are older. a lot of times the signals are starting to get a little bit weak, depending on how well upkept you've if you've invested in new caps or whatever. And
Right.
so my experience has been that it does work a little bit more stable with it in first, and then it's also protecting your cartridge port, so it's kind of a dual purpose in that case, in that scenario. And so that's just how we've been testing, and that's how we're going to recommend using it. It's not going to damage anything if you do it in a different order. It just may not work as well.
Right. And I mean,
you got to keep some conformity.
Right. And to be fair, everyone, I think we all know that I think any of us with just about any game at some point have had to turn it off and turn it back on again because they didn't quite make good connection. This is no different, right? I mean, it's going, sometimes you're going to just plug it up and be like, oh, it didn't make, the pins didn't quite, whatever. There's like one little thing didn't fire off, turn it off, turn it back on again, and it'll pick up where it left off.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of old finicky hardware too. I mean, and you've got so many different options. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Atari Creep Oni, what's going on? Truly offensive name. Welcome. PJ says someone should do the ultimate flashbacks again. That is in the works.
Really?
I mean, it's supposed to be. So we'll see. I mean, I can't talk about it, but it's supposed to be. DJC says 4-player hockey. Yes, 4-player. There's so many things that you could do. Yeah. The real issue is finding 3 other players to play next to you. See, everyone's saying hello.
Well, we've talked about doing a future product to play over the internet. So, ideas out there.
That's on other consoles that don't offer anything like that. I've seen it, and I'm like, first thing I thought of was like, man, would we love to have that for Intellivision? That's like the one thing we all want is to be able, like, I can sit there and play games with you.
Exactly, and that's absolutely we're all over the place, right? And there's no way I could find 3 other guys in my area to come over and then play this game, one game with what I'm saying? It's not happening. But online, there's a whole community of potential players. So,
and I've done it, I don't know, all close to 20 years ago with the emulation, and internet wasn't very good back then, but we had a pretty good experience. And most of the time we were playing baseball. Some games worked well, some games, not so much, and some had a little bit of lag, but it wasn't bad. But back then, that was awesome to be able to do. Truly Offensive Name says the adapter 8-Bit Widgets made for the BBP is so cool.
I'm glad you like it. I got to work on a few more of them for the 5200 and 7800 are the next couple of them that I'll be coming up with. I did the Sega Master System, as Casey. Do you have yours, right? Did I send you one?
I got the Master System yet. I need to order. I've been so busy. Like, I had that surgery. Yeah. I was recovering. I worked a month and a half. I was gone 17 days like this, and I've worked 7 days again and kind of trying to recoup. Literally, this whole year has been a blur for me so far, and we're almost through April.
But that's just it. And then there's another guy, I forget. Someone wants a Vectrex version. So I was like, okay, I've got a Vectrex and I've got the board. So, it's kind of like almost like whoever asks for it next. Because I was like, Sega Master, that's not really a system I think about often, but you're like, you should make one for the Sega Master. I was like, all right. So I'll do it.
And I bought another backbit because the Intellivision one, I don't want to, I have it here ready to go. I'm not taking it out, changing adapters, because this one, your new one, you can change adapters, right?
I was going to say, the new one's snug, like the MCP. It actually locks in really nicely, so that you could just pull it pretty easily. You just be a little patient, don't yank it or anything. But if you just kind of wiggle it out, it will just your backbit brain. It will come out, leaving the PCB still inside the system.
Well, that version I have, I think that's locked in though.
Is it? I honestly, so. There's been a few iterations, and I wasn't sure if that one, yours, is one of the snug ones or not. But I
think so. But I figured I'll have one for Intellivision, and then I'll have one for everything else. And Master System is one that I've been collecting for, and I would love to, have one for that. So that's why I asked for it. But it's sitting over there. I just haven't had time to get it going. PJ says an Intellivision Plus means a new controller, probably USB, which will be great. Yeah, a lot of us are still hoping. We know that there are things in the works. You don't think so?
No, they didn't do it with the 2600 Plus or the 700 Plus. Why would they switch to USB now? There's no way. They're definitely going to choose. I think they're going to do it right, and I hope so, because frankly, if they don't, then guess what I got to do? I got to start working on making the controllers, because I'm not going to do it right now, because I feel like I'm so confident that they're just going to make basically perfect replicas. I know Williams.
That's what I'm
You know,
hoping for.
I know Williams talking with them and stuff. He's got an NDA, so don't ask for details. I'm sure, but he won't talk. But I'm pretty sure that they're talking about the Intellivision Plus, and I can't help but imagine he's going to say, "Guys, you're sitting on a gold mine to not make new Intellivision controllers like the originals that are 100% backwards compatible. People will buy those just for that."
Emulation, replacing their controllers.
Right.
4-player games, you need
4.
more.
Exactly, right. Not having to buy flashback controllers. So yes, and also an interesting point too, Russ. I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong on this at this point, but you also could technically buy 2 Intelliports and put them back to back, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4 can be in them. They can work in series like that. So there's a guy, I forgot who it was, but he actually has an Intellivision 3, but he originally removed the original controllers off of it so that he could hook them up to his PC for emulation, probably using the ultimate PC interface, that device. Device. So because there you could buy these little clips that would actually clip onto it was like a DB9 to Intellivision wired adapter, right? So his Intellivision 3 is fully functional, but he has no controllers plugged into it at all. So if he wanted to do 4-player games, technically 2 of these in series, I'm not saying it's the cheapest way to go about it, but it certainly would be the way to do it. And you could play 4 players on a system without the local controllers.
When I get my number 1 unit, I'll have to try that.
Yeah, right.
Yes, there's been some minimal testing with 2 of them in series, and it worked okay. Yeah, you should be okay.
Yeah, because you just have to think of it. It's like there's highways. There's basically 4-player highways, and you're just simply saying which sets of those do you want to be on, right? That's why, but if you actually had 2 of these back to back and they were both set to 4, like players 3 and 4, then of course they'd be competing with each other because they're on the same highway. But as long as you put them to 1, 2, same thing with the local controllers, right? If you try to play on the local controllers, they're hardwired to 1 and 2. You can't switch that. But if you put the 1 and 2 on the external, and they basically fight each other a little bit. No harm. It's not like it's damaging or dangerous, but it just would ultimately cancel each other out.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're taking turns controlling it, you're just fine. But if you're both trying to operate independent buttons, it'll get all confused.
Hello, Internet.
For retro sake, what's going on, sir? Good to see you. Would Intellivision? I thought I clicked it. Would Intellivision to Atari system changer to Intelliport to 2600 controller? Well, the 2600 controllers work in the system changer playing Atari games. It will not work. I'll test that and hopefully do a video on it. But yeah, they don't quite go like that, but it should work.
The DB9 ports are specifically for Intellivision only. You can't plug a Sega Master System controller or a Genesis or anything else. None of that stuff works. This was designed. Now we're looking at future products and stuff to explore those possibilities. But this particular version, the product was focused on providing native Intellivision compatible controller options.
Oh, geez. I'm like almost 15 minutes behind in chat. I don't even know what they're saying. DJC says Mr. Boner sells them. DJC says Warlords is awesome. Was playing that on Easter. Rev says need IntelliPaddle for Pong. I have that. I can try. I'm going to try all the controllers. I mean, I pretty much buy any controller, any kind of thing that comes out. I make sure to get it. Creeper says Warlords is top. Mr. Postile, good to see you, sir. Welcome. Rev says, who makes the Intellivision Touch controller? I can't find anywhere. That one comes from Brazil. As far as who makes it, I can't tell you that. I mean, because I don't know, not because I can't.
If you search on YouTube, I think I've been searching Intellivision and like IntelliTouch. That's how I've been doing it.
Yeah.
IntelliTouch comes up with the search result of the guy demonstrating it in a breadboard form, but then he shows later parts of the video show it more like a final version, I think, of some.
And they actually stuck me in the group for that, but I can't read it because it's all Brazilian. It's all
Portuguese, yeah.
Or whatever language. I don't even know what language it is.
Portuguese in there, but yeah, it's exactly so. But yeah, that's that. So Casey's getting. I guess, are you in the process of you ordered some, or you're trying to work out a deal to get more than a few because of the shipping costs?
Yeah. So what I did was I put out, and I didn't post in the main groups because I was just trying to help people out here. That order is way bigger than I thought it was going to be, and I have to ship all these out. And, it's like, I'm not any way affiliated. I don't make any money. I'm just passing on the deal, sharing shipping, trying to let people have a way, because there's no other way to get these. A certain individual, which I'm not sure if he wants me to say it publicly, but he orchestrated the deal, and then I'm going to get him and do all the work and help a lot of people out to get these controllers. And I will be trying mine soon, guys. Like I said, I've just been super busy since I got back recently from vacation.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Let me catch up here. Everyone's saying hello.
Standard and IPC servers.
You guys are doing amazing work. Thank you. Yes, definitely. This is such a cool thing.
Yeah, it's very motivating with people enjoying it.
My buddy Sean says, finally now can say hi to everyone. Been here, was lurking mode. Well, I'm still way behind, so you probably said hi like almost 10 minutes ago here. Snafu 4-player, yeah, that's not the first time we've heard this. Jeffrey, stop to say hi and drop a like. Thank you, sir. Always appreciate that. Master System is yeah, I like the Master System for sure. Everyone's saying hello. Yes, Ultimate Flashback, that's something that's needed. FPGA console is needed. Intellivision Plus. We need something.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a multiplayer Snafu. Michael, I would love that.
Nice. Yeah.
And he told me this the other day. He has another 4-player game waiting in the wings. Remember, Michael, make sure it doesn't have to look for the ECS now.
Yeah, we were talking on the forums. It sounds like DZJ was making I think it was Frank. It was also, and they were discussing it, but they're pretty sure that the way the ECS the way it would check for the ECS was just looking for extra memory, because obviously rather than doing some sort of fancy looking for some BIOS or whatever, I think it just checks to see, is there this additional RAM, and if it is, then it passes.
Harvey from 511 Under. I do have, after we get done here, I have the rest of the show, and one of your games is the Homebrew Highlight for tonight. Oh, wow, we're finally caught up. Whew.
Nice.
I was like, I wanted to make sure we weren't missing any relevant questions, and sometimes, it's 10 minutes later and you forget, why they asked that, or it happens all the time. Okay, so for one more time, for all the new people that are in here, if they want to buy an Intelliport, what do they have to do?
Yeah, so just you can reach me over Facebook, possibly, but don't get discouraged if you can't reach me through Facebook, because I don't have my Facebook account on completely open to the internet. So the alternative way is also on AtariAge. I'm under 8-Bit Widgets is my username. You can reach me through a PM through that. You can also email me at 8bitwidgets at gmail.com, and that's a great way to get to me. So between those different ways, and essentially, if you've posted somewhere on Facebook or AtariAge or anything, and I didn't respond explicitly to you that I've got you on the list, I may have missed your post. So don't, so just make sure that I've responded. But once I have, I've been diligent about adding it to the list. And so, so we're working. And also, I don't know if it's big news or not, but basically we are going to go to PRGE this year. So this will be a first for us, and we'll be bringing this product, as many of these as we can have with us, if we can, get caught up on the orders. But also we have another project we're working on that we're not going to likely have ready until PRGE. So we're just keeping that closed until we get a little bit more further into it. But so I think we're really going to be really, really happy with some of the stuff we've got planned in this year and next year as well, because it takes time to make this stuff. And so it's just the two of us, and Frank's been helping us out with some of these projects as well, and some of his insight. But basically, it's just essentially just us making this stuff. So, so we're still a pretty small operation, but we will definitely get them as long as people want them. We're going to make them. I don't abandon my products and stuff. So if we can make it, we will, and we're not going anywhere. So,
and it's amazing because you'll go months and maybe even next year, and people have them everywhere, and all of a sudden someone will post and say, hey, I haven't seen this before, how do I get one? I'm like,
right,
how does that happen? Because we'll be, we're all over YouTube, you guys are talking about it, websites, it'll be at shows, all the major Facebook groups for Intellivision, but people still won't see stuff. So yeah, definitely, I was gonna say, don't get butthurt if you left a comment and he didn't reply. When you're on AtariAge, Facebook groups, all these different things going on email. It is really hard to stay on top and see it all. I go through the same thing when people are commenting on things and all the different groups. Things get lost. So, if, like he said, if he hasn't responded, that means he somehow missed it. And just, leave another one or a follow-up, and he will see it and he'll respond to you. That's how you'll know you'll be on the list.
Yeah, and the list is no obligation. If things change, if we get to you in a month or two and you change your mind or whatever, it's all good. We're just mostly wanting to get names, and so I won't ask for any payment until I have product in hand to ship to you. So don't worry about we're not trying to do anything other dishonest. You just want to know the interest, because obviously we know how many you make, and it helps us a lot to know the interest.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing with that controller. It's like, who wants one? Here's the list. If somebody, you get to somebody and they're like, I changed my mind. It's like, it's okay. Yeah. It's like, there's the next person in line to get one.
Absolutely.
Creeper says, Intellivision Gamer, if Caleb needs help soldering this together, I am willing to help. Also in, is that Maine?
Oh, you're Massachusetts. Yeah.
Oh, Massachusetts.
Oh, cool. That's what town is that? I'm in Randolph, so that's a little south of Boston. But also, if you need to check out our New England Classic Gaming Group, we have every other month we get together down in Norfolk, Massachusetts, at a library. It's a free event, and it's basically a place for us to get together, and people are showing off all kinds of cool products. And it's mostly kind of a swap meet, but you can buy, sell, trade. Sometimes people just bring in extra stuff they want to donate or give away, and but it's a fun group of guys, and we're just trying to kind of help grow it. So yeah, so if anyone's in the kind of greater Massachusetts area and want a little drive, it's Norfolk, Massachusetts, but it's on Facebook, New England Classic Gaming. You'll find it has a little Pac-Man logo, and that's kind of OpCode games. I mean, you get to Ed attends those events too. It's
Tim Duarte.
Tim, Ed, and myself actually started that together. But there's other guys. Gene was again a 1980 gamer. He's a great collector. He's one of those kind of guys. Has like a lot of Intellivision stuff. Has Coleco and multiple systems and stuff as well. So yeah, there's some really talented guys, and he's also a TI-99 game programmer. So he's made games and homebrews for that system.
Atari says he's in Melrose.
Okay, yeah. You're like that's kind of north of Boston, right? I know it's actually in Boston, Melrose. Yeah, there was a video game store not far from there a while back. Jay, I think, ran that one, and that's actually where I bought that 2609 for $30 this weekend. He had a tub. Okay. I probably could have scored a few more systems for a pretty good price, but I was like, I don't need another 5200 or 7800. I'm just gonna walk away. The Intellivision, but the wired 2609 was a nice one to have, because I don't actually have one of those. I've only got Sears systems because I've been so fond of the removable joysticks that I've never really wanted to have the older systems that are wired, because it's like But now the IntelliVoice fixes that, or Intelliport.
Intelliport.
Yes.
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Truly Offensive Name says, amazing. You guys are going to PRG. Can't wait to meet you.
Awesome.
Salvador says, crap, I better start saving for PRG. Now, at least you don't have any travel expenses, sir. He literally lives right there.
That's nice. That's very fortunate for you. I know. I got to fly from Boston, so I've got like the longest possible flight to get there. But no, I'm super excited about it. And what was I going to say? I just thought came to mind, but it escaped me. But that's all right. But yeah, very cool.
Well, is there anything else that we haven't brought up or that you would like to talk about before we call it a night?
No, I think I can't think of anything on here. Nope. Yeah, you good, Russ?
Yeah, I mean, keep in contact with the Atari creep. So.
Yes, I'll talk. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like. I mean, it is kind of it's fun. I mean, I actually kind of like the through hole soldering. The surface mount stuff I don't mess with at this point.
I don't know. Does that include surface mount or just through hole?
Just through hole. Yeah, it makes me feel smart because
I mean for Atari creep. if he has
I'm not sure.
Surface mount,
but you can find him. He has a YouTube channel. He's been around a long time. The Atari creep, so you can definitely reach out.
It's just that just when you put it all together, putting the surface mount components on, then all the through holes and the connector, and then testing it out, it does end up taking quite a bit of time to put one together and go through that entire process. And we all have day jobs, so
Right.
Yep.
We are
Labors
going
of
to be
love.
needing some help.
I'm getting a glimmer of hope on the ECS. Apparently, the person who's talking to them before me is saying they're giving them until tomorrow morning to respond. They haven't gotten back to them yet. So I'm really hoping they just don't, because I really want to get this thing.
Creeper says I can do Surface and through. I have my J standard and A60 or A610. I don't even know what that stuff means.
Certs, maybe? Is that like a cert?
That means he knows how to solder
Good.
really well. So that's good.
Awesome, man.
Chris
All right.
Lave
Yeah,
26. He's one of the bright minds for Intellivision as well. He's listening at 2.75 to catch up. So we probably all sound really funny.
That's funny.
All right, so let me talk about this one more time. We were talking about the Intelliport. This is a great new product that lets you plug into consoles, use aftermarket controllers. You can also use 2 or 4 player. You can use the flashback controllers. It can power, well, we haven't tried all of them, but it should power all controllers that need that additional power. Such a cool and great product. And if you want one, reach out to 8-Bit Widgets. Caleb is on AtariAge. You can find all of it, links in the description. Definitely reach out. I highly recommend it. I'm looking forward to getting my second one now, so I can try that, plugging 2 of them in. I would have never guessed that would have worked.
But yeah, this was kind of like, I made a mistake when I was printing, and I actually forgot to select the colors correctly, so I made 4 white ones. So if you want an albino, I have 3 more available.
I am gonna buy one of those. I'm figured, it'll look great with the Intellivision too. So I'll just buy another one eventually. Let people save one of those for me, please. Once everyone gets them that want them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only getting the 4.
I don't want to buy a bunch right now, but
that's going to be a collector's item
later once people get their hands on them.
That's right. But they are. It's true, though. I mean, again, I think it turned out pretty good, but it was an accident. It was like literally I just hit print and I forgot to assign the colors correctly, and it just happened to be set to white by default and black for letters. But yeah, like you said, for the Intellivision too, I think it actually is really cool.
Yeah.
So yes, if I sell the 4, if there's enough interest, can certainly make more of them. But I didn't mean to, and it was kind of a happy accident. So like I said, I feel like it's like a Buck Rogers spaceship or something.
Truly offensive name says I want a white Intelliport.
Okay, all right, there you go. So that's 2 left. So until they run out, and then again, if people, I'll make it eventually when we get caught up. At some point, it'll be on eBay and Etsy and stuff like usual, and I'll offer the options then as well. So I'm waiting for the Intelliport.
I'm not sure if that ER went at the end. I wasn't sure what he meant.
Yeah, Intelliporter?
To go to PRGE, or what are you saying, Harvey? Or is he talking about something that I don't know yet? Maybe that's the next product. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this. It was great to have you both on again. Caleb, you've been on many, many times. And again, this is my absolute favorite thing you guys have done so far. And believe me, I hope that someday soon we talk about an even better product. It's like I love seeing new products made for my favorite console. And I really appreciate you guys putting all the work in to do something great for our small community.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. So yeah, we'll be in touch, and feel free to reach out anytime you have questions, especially the homebrew games and stuff, the 4-player stuff. We're certainly happy to make sure you have no trouble with that. And if there are developers, I mean, prioritizing, obviously, probably most of the people on the first batch, we got like 27 or whatever, probably are some of those developers. But yeah, if there's developers who'd like to get their hands on one of these, I'm willing to prioritize that to give that to the people that want to make new games. I think everyone's willing to wait a little longer if that means they could speed up the process of getting some games actually made to leverage the player 3 and 4.
Oh, thanks for having us on.
Absolutely.
All right, and I know we're going to be having you guys on again soon, and I'm looking forward to it. And you guys have a good night. But everyone else, don't leave yet, because I still have the rest of the show. I put it to the end because I don't want to make these nice folks wait through all that crap.
But I'm gonna flip over to the YouTube. I've not been doing it either, but I can talk there as well.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on, and I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
All right.
All right, there you have it. 8-Bit Widgets, Caleb and Russ. Man, what a great product. I'm super stoked. I've been testing a little bit, and I am going to have some more time after tomorrow. I will be on another show, and then I have some free days to just really knock out some testing. I really need to test that, IntelliTouch or whatever that controller is called as well. I have a lot of people asking me about that. I'm like, I haven't used it yet. I know I'm one of the only ones here, if not the only one that has it, and I can't tell you anything about it yet. All right, so let's go ahead and do the rest of the show. I got some mail call. We'll start with some simple stuff. This is a little bit old, but I finally got it. This is from Retro Bliss Gaming. He has contests where you play 4 games. I won Space Armada for Intellivision on his monthly challenge. So I got the card, I got Retro Bliss sticker, Retro Bliss Ninja, and another little guy right here. Very cool to get those. I think I have like 5 or 6, and most of them are Intellivision games. Surprise, surprise. So another thing I recently got, I don't have anything cool like last week, but BSR on eBay, they're selling these packs of overlays again. So I have a few of them already. I collect all the overlay sets. I have some flat boxes. So I'm like, well, now they're selling them again. I will buy a set of overlays and, open up that box and make it a complete set. I also have an extra manual. Sean, INTV Fun in the chat. He tried this. It was a little before I left. He's like, you know what? It's like all the noise of the cables. So it might be hard to see. You plug this into the console, and then it lets you plug a Cat5 cable. Trying to see where that lets you plug a Cat5 cable in. So I've got those adapters and then an actual cable that screws in. And he said it gave a lot clearer signal. I haven't tested it for myself yet. This would be for like original unmodded consoles, obviously. But, it's a way to get rid of those RF cables that are just old and don't put out the best picture. So cool, Sean. I appreciate that. I bought them right away. I'm going to try it out. Let me make sure I don't miss anything here. Yeah, it really is a great product. Thank you. I want to play more on those contests. I don't even play on a lot of the Intellivision ones. It's just, man, there's only so much time in the day, and it's just impossible. PJ Smith says, see if BSR can do a ColecoVision overlay set. I think they did a whole bunch. These are just old stock from way back. I don't know that they're doing anything for that, but I could ask. Retro Dean 66, welcome. Hello. We were talking to the creators of the Intelliport. This cool device, if you missed it, lets you plug in controllers, original aftermarket flashback, power those modern controllers. Very cool device. Definitely rewind and check it out. Those adapters go into the console and then straight to the TV with an RF cable like your antenna cable, VCR, DVD player used. No need for one on the TV. So what else do I have? I'm always looking for more gamer shirts. I don't wear regular shirts or work clothes whenever I do YouTube videos. So I got Keeping It Classic. I need to have some of those made with Intellivision controllers. I think that will be fun too. All right. Nothing too exciting, like I said. I do have a really cool item that should be here by next week's show. So I'm really hoping it is. I'm nervous of it getting here for one. So I got another Next magazine, and my buddy TJ, he was in chat. I don't know if he's still in here. The reason I get this and the reason I own the Next is for him. He has such an amazing channel and he's fun as hell to watch. He recently said he was going to stop cussing, and he's full bore back into it now, and it's hilarious. So he has TJ's Corner. Every issue of this, he's in there. I need to read the last 2. I'm a little behind. I was gone. And lastly, I've got something for my Evercade. These just came a few days ago. They're the new releases. I forgot what it is. VGP video game. I forgot what it is. Oh boy. Anyway, they are the 2 new ones. Atari Arcade 2 and the Tomb Raider collection. And this is Cart 45. And this is Arcade Cart 14. looking forward to trying those. I will do videos. I'm trying to start to do Evercade, although I haven't done anything in a long time on the Retro Gamer. I'm going to try to play these. It's the only way I'll actually get in there and play them. So yeah, definitely. I was so excited. I've known about that for quite a while. When he first talked about wanting to make it, I'm like, oh, that is going to sell so well. There is such a need for that. It's just really cool. I'm very excited for it. And I'm excited that this is actually not the first one, but it's the first one I have. So I have 15 and I ordered number 1. So I'm getting the very first one whenever they're done with it. And then I'm going to order one of those white ones later. Sean, what is the link for these cables and adapters? Sean, they're on Amazon. You can send me a message, Pierre. I have them. I'll get the links on Amazon. And are you talking about for the cables? I have all that stuff from Amazon. I'll send it to you, Pierre. Just send me a message. And I got those from Sean. He sent me the links. Yeah, the Intelliport, that one, 8-Bit Widgets, I put there in the description, but you can find, if you go to Intellivision Invasion Facebook group, the Homebrew, Intellivision Homebrew Games, or Intellivision Revolution Facebook group, you can find a post about it from Caleb or myself, and you can reach out to me, leave a comment anywhere, find me on Facebook, send me a message, and I'll send it to you. Any which way, just send Caleb a message, and you can get on the list for the Intelliport. I know it's going to be a little bit here because they have quite a few and it takes a while to build them, as you heard him say. Yeah, I'll post the link after the show. And Pierre, I talk back and forth with him all the time. So, where'd I miss? Intellivision Revolution. Did I miss something? Intellivision Revolution. We're working to address the Pong paddle need. Not just yet, but it's coming. Yes, sir, Pierre. Glad to help. Glad to help. All right. So what else we got here? I think I got everything through mail call. Let's go ahead and do the Homebrew Highlight. So I've had these for a little bit. Some of the first games of 2025. Get my Intelliport out of the way. So which way? It will drive you nuts. I love games like this where you'll see in a minute whenever we play it. So basically, up is not up, left is not left. It's randomized, and you have to get through like an obstacle course. Very simple game. It really takes some focus to play this one. Already got him out. What am I doing? So here is the cart. I believe this was a cart from Luke, but I'm not 100% on that. If Harvey's in here, please correct me if I'm wrong. Here is the manual. And here is the overlay. Just uses the disc. So let's go ahead and show it off a little bit. I've played it a little bit. I do have videos. Oh, and I turned off the wrong one. Turned off the retro tink instead of turning on the TV. All right. Here we go. Oh boy, this is going to be bad too because I did not practice. Caleb says Michael Hayes just saw this catching up. He's catching up on chat. I bought some shells from Josie quite a few years ago. Okay. I need to buy some from Luke soon enough. The new ones, that's what I was thinking, that maybe they weren't from Luke. The new ones that Luke does, they have a little label on the underside where you can put any kind of sticker or logo if you want. Kind of cool, and it's recessed just enough to where it doesn't get messed up. All right, let me see if this is loud enough for you guys because I still have not got my sound going through the computer. Can you guys hear that okay? That is coming soon as well. I have a whole nother desk, top-down camera. I've talked about it a few times. It's going to make things a lot nicer whenever I stream and open up mail call packages. All right. So here you get to look at the screen. Let me take my name off. You guys know who I am. So, it takes so much focus. So basically, it's random. The controls, you have to get over to the green ball. But it's not just pushing up for up. You have to figure out, without hitting a side or any of these obstacles, which one they are, which one does what direction, and remember them. And then when you get close to things and you freak out, still remember them. I got on a roll where I could get through several of them, but I haven't played it since. All right, so right is down, left is up. So they're just... So once you get one, I kind of go back and forth. Oh no, I pushed the wrong way. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh! So you can eventually get to where you can do this pretty well. Like I said, I should have practiced this game. Oh, I made it! That was close. But at least I was able to do one. All right. Oh, no. Oh, that was so close. I hit right. Oh. All right, so I've got left and right, so I'm assuming down is up is down, but let's see here. Oh, I don't know what I did. I think I hit the wrong direction, and I don't mean like... I thought I was hitting a direction on the disc, and I hit the wrong one. All right, so I'm heading in the right direction here. Oh! This is not the kind of thing where you can be live on YouTube and looking over at chat or thinking about chat. you have to have total focus. And the music. Oh! I don't know if that's my controller. I don't want to be one of those guys blaming the controller. But it's like moving twice when I'm pushing one direction, so this controller might be wearing out. Uh-oh. Okay, so up is right, down is left. Yeah, I'm definitely moving two directions. That makes this even harder. One direction for me, and it changes, is... Oh, I actually got another one. One of the directions on the disc, which, depending on which level you're on, moves a different way, is actually moving me twice. Like right there, you've seen it just jet around. Oh, no. All right. All right. Whew. That is stressful. Harvey, you're killing me. Let me get comments over here. That was up, right? You guys did see the game? Yes. It's fun. Like, I was actually playing it when I first had it because I had one of the early zigzag zip zap, and then I had this one, and I was playing it before I played it and showed it, and I could get to where I could do pretty good. It is not easy, and it's one you don't want to play when you're recording or on YouTube. You just want to sit there and think about it. Yes, there are a bunch. Casey's pretty good at this game. It didn't feel like it right there, Harvey. Yeah, it's one of those mind games where it's like you have to figure it out quick on the fly, and then you have to remember it. It's not easy. Yeah, LTO is still my favorite unit overall. Very, very nice unit, but you can't get them. Backbit is really good, and you can use it on many different consoles and computers, and just change out the piece. It is a very cool unit. Again, it's on the pricey side, but well worth it. But then you have the PyRTO2s, which are going to work great for most people, and they're $40. I mean, if you can do the soldering and make a 3D case yourself, I believe you can buy the parts for like $10. So yeah, definitely, it's just whichever one you can have access to, which one you want to pick up. I try to buy them all, of course. I like to be able to test them out and see, what does what. But all right, guys, where are we at here? And this was this year release, by the way. It's a 2025 game. There's only been a few. Police Avenue Redux. We've got Zigzag, Zip Zap, and Which Way. I believe that's all we have. We have some other stuff coming out soon. I have not got the list of parts. But Caleb says, also, I forgot to mention the Intelliport is $90, including shipping to the lower 48 states. And Canada's a little bit more. And then overseas is yet a little bit more. We all know how expensive it is to ship things overseas. So it's definitely worth it. I will have to ask the creator, the guy that actually, not the guys that sell them, but the actual guy from Italy that designed it. And I will get a list, and you still need to contact me anywhere, Creeper. I want to send you one of these, buddy. I want to send you one of these. So definitely reach out to me. Caleb, Salvador's asking, will it be 90 at PRGE, or since you're not shipping them, or will it be a show price? Stephen Baker, good night, everyone. Great show as always, Casey. Thanks, and thanks for being here, buddy, and good luck on all the games. Bunch of rare stuff. Again, check eBay. Bunch of rare games if you're looking for any. Kurt Bradshaw, I don't know if you have all those, but I would definitely pick one up if you're missing some of those early rare ones. They do not come around often. I want to go back to Ask the Intellivision Gamer. So it's something new I thought of. If you want to know, does this work with this? Anything Intellivision related, I even opened it up. If you want to ask things about me, send me a message, leave a comment somewhere, and I will do a little thing as I get any in. I haven't got any yet. I will talk about them and bring it up on the show. It's just something I wanted to try. It can be technological things. Now, I'm not saying that I know everything about everything, but I do know a lot. And for all the stuff that I do not know, I know exactly who to ask, and I can find out answers for pretty much anything. Yeah, definitely. Also, like I said, reach out to me, same thing, and I'll get you the information on ordering the parts so you can build one yourself. Caleb says it'll be the same price at PRGE. It's not cheap to get there for two guys. And yeah, from the East Coast. Definitely. Darn it, bought one last week. I should have asked Casey. Yeah, definitely. Can't wait for Rev's questions. He thinks of good ones. All right, so make sure tomorrow, Retro Bliss and Mike's Gaming Gala, they are doing their podcast that they do every Tuesday. They're doing it at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern is when it starts, and it is for the Intellivision 2024 Homebrew Awards. And I'm going to be a guest on there, so I hope to see you all there. I think we pretty much went through everything. I try not to have too much whenever we have guests on. It just becomes too much. Like we're already an hour and a half in, and I kind of left everything else out. So definitely tune in tomorrow. You can watch from Retro Bliss Gaming, or you can go to Mike's Gaming Gala. They simulcast, so they'll both be showing it. I'm looking forward to that. Talking about Intellivision, it's something I can definitely do. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. Those of you that caught it live, or if you're watching on, another day, I appreciate you all as well. Next Monday, it's going to be episode 64, and it's going to be like the last day of voting. So I'm going to go through and play all the games and talk about them a little bit, and probably do my voting. I'm waiting till near the end. But if I get time, I'm going to come online, not on the show, and I'm going to play a lot of the games too and talk about the awards, and I'll show you guys all that stuff. It all just depends on if I get some time. I am working 7 days a week right now for a few weeks, so I'll do my best. All right, guys. Thank you again, and we will see you next week and hopefully tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
Rise up, get ready for the fight. The Intellivision gamer, shining so bright, reviews and gameplay. He's got it all from classics to new. He stands tall, interviews and insights. He's on a mission, unleashing the power of retro intuition. He's got the knowledge, the passion untamed. Intelliport burning with the flame. YouTube's his stage, subscribers unite. Intellivision gamer, he brings the light with the game console. He's making history.